the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oath. Reset. Arms.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Arms. Oath. Right face. Forward arch.
Okay, see? I'm sorry?
We're just taking numbers now.
Louisa, would you do roll call, please?
Yes. Al,
Present.
Teresa,
Present.
Michelle,
Here.
Kate,
Here.
Gladys,
Here.
Mary, Lauren, Juanita, Rich, Julie,
Thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
At this time, I'm going to turn it over to the superintendent to do the recognition.
Okay.
We have a new bar set tonight.
This is the first school that provided swag for their spotlight of your school. So you've set the new standard. So I'm going to be making announcements to all schools. I love Yeti cups. I love all kinds of towels are great. So, but thank you for these, first of all. And thank you for coming. I'd like to welcome Mill Ridge Elementary School and led by our principal, Michelle Hurst.
good evening. Thank you. Thank you for having us. I'm the very proud principal of Mill Ridge Primary School, and I'm excited to go first for Spotlight Your School. That's what happens when you go first. You set a new bar that everyone has to reach, right? So I'm the very proud principal who gets to go first for Spotlight Your School. A little extra special. This is probably our last meeting in this boardroom. So I'm happy to be the way that we finish it with our wonderful school. So I wanted to give you a quick peek tonight into what makes us so special and also into what we're working on this year. Our school motto is every student, every day, no matter what. And I hope throughout that presentation, that's exactly what you're going to see. Every amazing person who works in our school does just that. They work super hard every day to meet the needs of all of our students. Tonight, you're going to get a peek at how our young scholars, our little kids, are becoming strong advocates, collaborators, communicators, innovators, and learners. And following this presentation, I invite you to come visit us because we would love to show you around and show you all the great things that are happening. I want to take a minute to point out my incredible staff who came out on Wednesday night to support our school. So all of the wonderful people. what makes us so great, and without them, I wouldn't have something wonderful to spotlight. So I just want to make sure to point them out. This year, we're working hard. It's not. Sorry. This year, we're working to grow our leadership team, and so we have a wonderful group of volunteers who is committed to helping us grow our school. Some very skilled educators in that group who are helping us to look at data, to capitalize on what we're doing well, and to help us figure out where we can grow and to help us look at what we can be doing better. So I just want to introduce the people who are here in the room that are on that team. Not everyone up there is here, but Kirsten Lang is here. She's our student support specialist. Mrs. Carosa, our MLL teacher. Kelly Bates is our kindergarten representative, and Jacqueline Smith is our third grade representative. We are going to talk to you about the two wildly important goals that we're working on. So you know that we work on a million things every day, but there are two things that we're devoting all of our time to, two things that we're really making our focus this year. One of which is to increase reading proficiency of our students by a minimum of 15%. And the second one is to decrease chronic absenteeism in our school to at least 8% or less. So we know that sending our kids out of Millridge Primary, being a primary school, sending them out of our school by the end of third grade, reading at grade level is one of the biggest things we can do to set them up for future success. So we're putting all of our efforts and our brainstorming powers on that goal. But we also know we can't meet that goal if our kids don't go to school. And so we want to work on targeting absenteeism so that they're there for us to teach them. So I'm going to show you a little bit about where we are right now in that. So right now, we are proud to have increased our overall proficiency of our third graders from 26% to 40% last year. So we saw a gain of 14% in the percentage of kids who are achieving at grade level. But 40% is not where we want to be. And so we have a lot of work to do to grow that, but we are super proud of the progress that we're seeing. We've seen a nice trend in our literacy data, and I realize you cannot see that mountain, but if you could, what it would show you is that last year with all of our targeted literacy efforts, our kindergartners, 70% of them left proficient on grade level. And 60% of our first graders left proficient on grade level. And almost 60% of our second graders left on grade level. So we have a mountain climbing theme this year, and we see ourselves like moving up that mountain. And so while we're not there yet, we know that those kindergartners who are at 70% are going to be our first graders this year, and very soon are going to be our third graders. So we see a super positive trend in our data. Some of the things we've been doing to help make that happen, I do think our core curriculum and a lot of adult learning for our teachers. We've built in a lot of collaboration time for them to work together and to learn from each other. We're doing some very explicit instruction now in phonics and phonemic awareness. And we're doing some creative scheduling to try and make good use of the limited resources that we have with our intervention teams so that we can be with as many students as possible. And all of those things together are helping us to move more kids to be on grade level. We're working really hard to make sure everyone has access to grade level curriculum, but also to support their needs to help them access that. And like I said, attendance, we were very proud of our attendance data. We did see an increase in the percentage of chronically absent students last year, so we feel like it needs to be a target for us again. 12% of our school last year was chronically absent, and we know that being in school every day helps you feel like you belong as part of that building, and also we need them to be there consistently to teach them. So we do sharing of attendance data. We had an attendance team that meets one-on-one individually with each family because every student's reason for not coming to school is different. So we target those needs one kid at a time. And we do a lot of celebrations and surprise days to help support that, to get the students on board too. So at Millridge Primary, we are intentionally teaching our young learners how to learn and how to work together. We're embedding social emotional skills into all of our classrooms to teach our kids how to communicate with each other and how to collaborate with each other and how to advocate for themselves. We're teaching them like how to be a learner and what you do in school to be a learner so that we are setting them up for future success. We also know that our kids are a lot more than their numerical data. So everything that we do in our school is centered around trying to meet the needs of the whole child. There's things that we do every day, but some of what we work on is our PBIS expectations. So we set common expectations in our school. We model them. Every student knows what's expected of them, and they know the expectations in our school, which we feel makes a safe environment where everyone can learn better because they feel safe at school. Our entire school practices them, they model them. We also strive to make the students, the staff, and the families feel supported. So we work really hard to make sure that we have positive staff and student relationships and positive staff and family relationships. We welcome our families and as partners, and this year we set a goal to regularly communicate with our parents about what we're learning in school and how they can help kids at home, because they know that they want to. So we want to keep them informed on what their kids are doing and ways to help at home. And then we run programs to meet individual basic needs of our families. We do food drives and holiday giving drives, coat drives, because if your basic needs aren't met, then it's harder to learn. We also know that being a student can be hard, being a parent can be hard, and being a teacher can be hard. And so we try to build in ways for them to recognize each other. So every month our staff sends little postcards home to families, maybe a student needs pet talk, or a parent maybe needs to hear something good about their child. And then I give the parents opportunities to send in like messages to the staff, thank you grams, and we put them all together, and nothing feels quite as good as having 180 positive messages that were sent in from your family. So we really work to build each other up as well. Our school is full of a lot of reasons to celebrate. We operate on 5 core values, which are respect, responsibility, kindness, hard work, and safety. Weekly, we celebrate kids who show those values. Monthly, we celebrate kids who are kids of character and kids who are on a roll with their learning, who are showing some type of academic improvement. We celebrate our hard work, our learning, and our attendance milestones. And so I have a quick video to show you just a few of those celebrations. I just hope that when you watch, you'll notice all of the community connections in a video, because we believe really strongly that our kids need to be connected to the community that they're a part of. So I think you'll see, I hope you'll notice you'll see some DHS students in there, you'll see some central office members in our video, and some other people from our community.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, your brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the world I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take.
Let's sing.
That's a song from The Greatest Showman.
We can live in my head, a million dreams are keeping me awake.
And I just wanted to end with this one quote. It says, every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists they become the best they can possibly be. That's a quote by Rita Pearson, and our school is filled with just that, champions who are really ready to help our future graduates thrive and make sure that they have someone to connect with every day.
So that was wonderful. How many years have you been a principal? Jennifer?
5.
5. You could be like at 15 right now with the amount of work and accomplishments that you've created at that school in such a short time, and in collaboration with the staff that clearly supports you and is even happy to be here, and the fact that they're smiling on a Wednesday night and they all came out to show school spirit. There's a lot to be said about how you led that school in a short period of time, and just how positive and warm school is, but yet there's an expectation, there's high expectations for kids. So I just want to say thank you very much. This was a wonderful presentation.
Thank you. I don't know why the video was so small, so sorry about that. I don't know what I did wrong. Thank you. I'm very proud to be there, and they're really what makes us so great. And I have a newsletter that I send to the town history, and it says there's nowhere else I'd rather be, and that's the truth. Like, I can't imagine myself somewhere else. I love our school, and so I'm glad to be with you.
That's great. Awesome. Thank you so much.
So we have anybody that's in the
No, no.
Okay, good. Louisa, would you read the public speaking part?
The board welcomes public participation and asks that speakers please limit their comments to 3 minutes. Speakers may offer objective comments of school operations and programs that concern them. The board will not permit any expression of personal complaints or defamatory comments about Board of Education personnel and students, nor against any person connected to the Danbury Public School System.
So I guess no one is coming forth the board, so we're gonna move on down the agenda. Okay, thank you, Louisa. Al, could you make the motion for the consent calendar?
I make the motion that the Board of Education approve the consent calendar exhibits 25-124 through 25-126.
Motion made by Al. Could I hear a second? Seconded by Michelle. Any question concerning the consent calendar? Seeing none, all in favor, could I hear aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion so carried. Thank you. Do we have anyone coming before the board on my educational staff team? Nope. Gosh. And the students are not here. So we did the other presentation, just so you got another presentation.
No.
Okay, so you. Superintendent's report.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping Andy is not in the other building. She was supposed to attend tonight to talk a little bit about Family University and our Farm to Table initiative. So I will just quickly update the board. There is a wonderful flyer in the back of your packet. And actually, just make sure you all have that in there. Give me a second. Well, the events, I'm not sure if it's in your packet, but Ann was going to speak just a little bit about some of the wonderful programming and events and just a huge community gathering for our Family University, which is on October 18th. And so we'll be celebrating again our community providers and connecting with families in meaningful ways. So I invite you to all come out, and if the information is not in your packet, we'll certainly get that to you. She may end up sliding in when she figures out the location for tonight, but in any event, we welcome everybody to attend that. I will be there, and from what I understand, I'm also going to be helping to run a pollinator session with bees and honey, and helping to show the kids how the role of pollinators in the community. So that's a new one for me. The other update is on our Farm to Table initiative, and that is going well. We are growing multiple sites. We're able to get a little extra grant money embedded into some of the things that we're doing. So we're going to be growing more beds at more schools. And Chartwell's has been wonderful with that collaboration. So they're very open to those ideas. And then we're also interested in establishing some partnerships with some local farms and in our community. And we also just made a great connection with Connecticut Food for Thought. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with that, but they are a huge hydroponics organization that has opened up a facility in Torrington. And they first started with their initiative was to just help feed the local population and folks who are in need of food. But they've since grown their production and are now a provider, sole provider for Big Y in Connecticut for hydroponics, grown produce. And they're also going to work with us to help us set up our greenhouse. We're going to have a small group of teachers and a couple of administrators going out to see their facility, tour it, learn about the industry of growing soilless food, and then bringing that back to help us get that pathway off the ground. So we're very excited about that. But all these farm-to-table and food growing initiatives are kind of starting to multiply in terms of opportunities. So we're excited about that. Just a short update on that. And Anne has been instrumental in that work and growing out that work. Okay, moving on. Federal funding status. Last time we were here, I was quite worried about the monies coming in, particularly for Title I, Title II, and Title III. And just this week, they did release those funds finally. They have populated into our EGMS system, and then we will program those mostly with what we had in them last year without too much worry about the status of that. So we're happy about that. We do know that Title II, from what we hear from all sources, will go away coming next year. So we'll be looking to make sure that we take any staff that was in that grant and slide them into Alliance and make sure that we have enough room in our other grants to accommodate. It's not too many. We only have about 2 staff members in there, so it's not too bad. The rest of the funds are used for teacher professional development. All right, moving down the line, cell phone policy and implementation. I was asked to just give a little brief update on how it's going, and I can tell you that it's going quite well. Overall, there's been very few bumps. The students have been extremely cooperative, minus a little bit of huffing and puffing sometimes with having to put the phone away. The students have been very cooperative, locking the phones up, taking them out at the appropriate time at the high school level, and it's been a non-issue K-8. We've heard of really no issues whatsoever. In terms of the student side, again, the staff is very appreciative of their ability to teach without the distractions in the classroom. Still, as always, some parent, concern about making sure they can get a hold of their children. But that comes with a little bit of trust with the school system and knowing that they can access the administration when they really need to get a hold of someone. I know Teresa and I are having a little bit of a conversation just before the board meeting started. I don't know if you want to. I think you attended a PTO meeting.
Dearborn High.
Dearborn High. I'm not sure if you want to talk a little bit about that through the chair.
Yeah, they were saying the only class that was having an issue with it was the senior class. But freshmen, they were terrific, like the senior class, because they were used to having cell phones.
Right. Which is understandable. It's a hardship. But still, no behavioral challenges as a result of the policy. Things are going well in that regard. Transportation, so also things have gone very smoothly and are pretty much on track with the transportation. We've had a couple of runs, being late here or there, but that's like a typical year. Given all the changes that we've had in the volume and the number of buses that we've added, this has gone incredibly smoothly. As we mentioned last time, the first couple of days of school, the first week or two of school, we traditionally have longer runs as not only the drivers are getting to know the new routes, some of them are brand new drivers, but also making sure that the dismissal process is as organized as it can be so that students are efficiently exiting the building in a safe way possible. So all those systems have been really worked on in the last few weeks and honed and refined, ironed out, and we're in really good shape with transportation. The 612 run that folks were concerned about early on, not hearing anything, and so there was maybe a question or two in the beginning about the runs, and nothing. The kids are being very well behaved, collaborative, cooperative with one another without issue. So it's a really good report on transportation.
How is the transportation from the west side to the main campus for after school activities going?
It's going okay. I think down the line, I would love to buy a 16-passenger van at some point. because I think there's always going to be a need to a student who maybe either missed a bus or had to stay late. So maybe down the line, we might consider that. I also think it might be vital to be able to make sure that we can get some of our students who have the opportunity to might either ride to an internship after school or transportation between the campuses during the day. It hasn't come up as a huge need right now, but I could see maybe down the line as the campus fills out and we really start to kick in with more opportunities for students to work in the community and to shadow, we might have a need for that down the line.
Teresa?
Okay, this is not exactly about transportation, but you brought up about the West Side campus. Are we going to get them jackets for their each academy like they had in Nashville?
Oh, the student ambassadors.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we were in Nashville, the student ambassadors are a select group of students chosen to lead and be the liaison for visitors and to do the tours, and then to lead other student activities. So they're kind of like peer leaders. And they did have lovely jackets by Academy. And yes, we have set money aside for this year. In fact, the training for student ambassador training was this week. And our administrators spent some time with NCAC engaged in that. And so they're going to be turnkeying the training with our students. And yes, there is money in the budget set aside for the jackets.
Are there any other questions to the superintendent, Mr. Janelli or Juanita? Okay.
Oh, no, I have none, thank you.
Yes, Mr. Janelli, go ahead.
No, I don't have any questions, thank you.
No questions.
Oh, Kate?
Through the chair, I just want to confirm, Dr. Kazner, with the
Got to talk into it.
sorry, with the disappearance of the Title II funds, do you know roughly how much we're talking about there?
It's a couple $100,000. I have to get the exact amount for you, but we had, I think it's maybe closer to $400,000. We had 2 staff members in there, and that ate up about almost 50% of it with benefits, and then the other half was for professional development.
Okay.
And I have already created a pocket and alliance to absorb those 2 staff members.
Thank you.
Correct.
So to the superintendent, that amount of money is in for this year, but it will go away 2026.
Correct. That is what I understand. And so I've already kind of slid those folks in and accounted for them, so that any money that we spend this year is sort of one-time funds, so that we don't create a cliff. So they were part of the planning of.
Okay.
And that could change, but that's what we're hearing. So better to be proactive than not to have it. Okay. And strategic planning beyond 2026. So as you know, our current strategic plan runs through 2027, which means that over the course of next year, so we should start planning in the spring, we should really engage the public, stakeholders, teachers, parents, students, board members in the strategic planning process that refreshes what our goals are, our priorities, and aligns our kind of 5-year vision down the road. And our current plan may need some major overhaul. It could just be some minor tweaking. But we've had some conversation about the need to sort of re-engage the community. If you remember or were part of the community conversations just a few years ago, those were really helpful with understanding the perspective of the community, perspective of business owners, perspective of our teachers, our administrators, our board, our students, our parents. And those conversations left an imprint on me in terms of what resonated, what things that parents had to say, their hopes and dreams for their children, resources that they wish they had, different access to instructional resources or social emotional resources, or how we just position our communication and what they need and versus what we're providing. So it's a helpful process, and while we have some time to plan it, I just wanted to kind of put it on the radar that that's something that I think is going to be important. And then we should take the time to think through the planning component, maybe through community conversations would be a great venue to start having those conversations. It's not right on urgent at the moment, but it's something that we should definitely be thinking about coming up, as it'll come around kind of fast. And if we want to do a really good job of it, we should meet with the group, stakeholder group over an extended period of time, surveys, focus groups, et cetera, and have some facilitation. So I just wanted to put that out there around the community connection piece around strategic planning.
Do you have any specific date, not this year, but 2026 to get that started?
Yeah, I think we should leave this school year with a plan and dates heading into next year. So we should leave, close the school year with a plan. So we walk in ready as opposed to spend multiple meetings trying to figure out what we're gonna do. So I think that would be important, plan-wise.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then the last piece here is on dress code. I think we had mentioned in a previous meeting that we're going to be starting focusing in on revisiting the policy. The policy itself is relatively new, but we want to make sure that we're supporting our administrators and our teachers with the enforcement of that policy. We'd like to review some of that with the groups and have a similar process to what we use for the cell phones, which was a really pretty well thought out process. Kelly led that, she did a great job, where we ascertained some of the feedback from the different levels and their perspectives, which really fed into how we shaped the policy, but then also how we laid out the regulations for the schools and communicated with the schools. And I think the dress code policy is another one that should be handled in that way. So before we touch the policy, we use feedback and focus groups to inform policy development, which I think would be, welcome. And I also think it's going to be important to have some students involved in the process as well. So we'll be getting we're soliciting some volunteers from PTO, citywide PTO, to engage our folks who are really involved in the school. We'll have a couple of board members, a couple of teachers, a couple of admins, and a couple of students as well. And that is it for the superintendent report.
Does
I have
anybody?
a question.
Okay, Mr. Janelli?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Dr. Casimiro, two things. First, you mentioned about moving the lapse, there was a lapse of funds, and you're gonna move some expenses into the Alliance grant. Is it possible that at the next finance meeting, we have to have a detailed budget or listing as to what is comprised of that Alliance amount at this point?
Yes, so for the
Yeah, I'd like to see that, and then perhaps we can project out, in the near future with the incremental increases, how that money is going to be, developed, and at what point are we going to maximize that grant amount?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. I spoke with Mike, and he's gonna present what, the Alliance, we have to have a board similar to some other grants, you have to have the stamp of approval. I have applied, we submitted our Alliance grant, we're waiting to hear back, but usually when that comes back, that's when we bring it for the board approval as well, because it has to go through state approval, but we certainly have the amount of salaries and benefits and everything else carved out. And I asked Mike to update through the finance first, so that everybody has a chance to more extended time to talk about it. If they have questions, and then we'll bring it to the board. The full board.
My second question is, and I'm not sure if it's appropriate here, but a week or two ago, Teresa sent me a document, and I passed it on to you and to, I think, Dan Garrett, about a notice in the flyer that Julie Kushner sent. I don't know who she sent it to, but Teresa got a copy, that Julie had obtained $60 or $80 million, I don't recall the exact amount, in the state budget for education for Danbury. I have no idea what this impacts or how it's part of, whether it's part of our allocation or just what. I sent an email to Dan Garrett, I copied you on it, I think as well as Teresa. Have you heard anything back as to what this money is for and how it impacts us?
No, and I think, the numbers like that can be comprised of a lot of different things. It could be ECS, it could be money ascertained for additional grant funds, it could be one-time ARPA money, I don't know, Richard. So I think, we got to get more clarity before I would feel comfortable speaking to a number
Okay.
that someone
Yep, I
posted.
just want to know what you got. Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay.
Contract status
For NEA?
for teachers and,
Yes, we are going to discuss that tonight in an executive session and come back out and share publicly. So,
sorry.
it's all good though. It's a good conversation.
Moving on down the agenda, if there's no other questions. Al, can you do action item? No, I'm sorry. Any committees report? I see the minutes from the Sites and Facility Committee. Good. And I encourage our board members, when you have time, read your minutes. Some of the questions that you ask out here in public, they're already answered in the minutes. So, we can kill time by going over the same thing over and over again. Are there any committee reports? Okay, yes.
Just a real quick reminder that tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. is our first policy meeting, and it'll be via Zoom.
Okay. And finance meeting is next week too?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yes.
15th. Can't be.
Okay, that's good. Okay. Action item. Al?
I make the motion that the Board of Education accept the McKinney Dental Homeless Assistance fiscal year 2025 to 2026 grant in the amount of $50,000 in accordance with Exhibit 25-127.
Al made the motion. Could I hear a second? Teresa? Any question concerning the motion? Seeing none, could I hear all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion so carried. Thank you. At this point, Chairperson, very brief. I attended a citywide PTO meeting. They had a relative nice group, and we talked about, very briefly, everybody know I'm not a talker. I talked about the first day of school. It went okay. We talked about possibly the dress code. We didn't get into that because we were not going to talk about that until everything was in place. And we talked about encouraging parents to really read the disciplinary code for their students. Okay? I attended, I can't think of the name. The collective.
Danbury.
Thank you, thank you. And I had missed quite a few of those meetings, and I was just there to learn. But they were really dealing with absenteeism and how they are working together as a group to really work with parents so that they can understand absenteeism and make sure that their child is in school. Okay, citywide PTO. The last thing I want to mention to board members is that on the 14th, I think, we are meeting, so I want you to take the Board of Education goals. Look at the goals that the superintendent had in her blue folder that we all got. And if you didn't get it, and you don't have those goals, the board goals, I'll make sure that Carol emails them to you, okay? And so when we come on Wednesday night, we have our questions, we can answer, and then we can move on down the agenda, okay?
When is this? What day?
I think it's Wednesday, the 14th.
They're like
No,
part
it's the
two.
15th, it's Wednesday.
Okay.
Tuesday.
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 Is it here?
It will be on at the new place. At our new place.
Wooden person?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. This is it. This is the
Yes, the
last
14th,
one.
thank
This is it.
We have a busy week next week. Okay. And that's all. To the board members, I will send an email out to you because we know that the holidays is coming up and I want to present something and I don't want to get here on the holiday that we do our little, things. and we have to do something a little bit different. So I'm gonna talk to board members about that. We have to wait, okay? Okay. Kate, if there's no other questions, I ask you to make a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make a motion that the Board of Education recess into executive session for the purpose of discussing the negotiations for a successor agreement between the Danbury Board of Education and NEA Danbury with possible action in public session.
Second?
Moved by Kate, seconded by Al. Did I hear all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Motion so carried. 7:40.
Might take us a minute to clear the room.
Make sure that everything goes off on the screen and everything. You, yep, you got it.
I just got an email. Huh? No, the spring. Now I can attend the advertising.
I know, right?
Not much longer. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You up. Whoa.
And Kim, could you talk about our representative from the board that was on the committee? with
Yes.
you? Because it's very important.
Yes.
That we, and I've stressed for years that this is why we need to sit on certain committees to understand what's going on.
Yes. So a bit of background. So what happens after this process, should you approve and ratify today, this contract then gets finalized and it goes to the city. The city council has 30 days in which to approve or reject the agreement. And if they take no action, it's approved. So it's going to sit there. So, if we can kind of do our best to maintain as much confidentiality around it, we're going to get that over to them to go ahead and vote. And so what's important about the process is to have a representative from the city on the negotiating team with us, because it also needs to go through the city. So that's why we had Mr. Carney was selected and asked to join us. He's also going to join us in some of our non-certifieds. I think it's just a great bridge. It's really helpful to have his input. He's, while he works in the mayor's office right now, he's a Torrington Board of Ed member, so he brings a lot of knowledge and has, I think, been super helpful as the negotiating process continued as well.
So you don't want us to say anything?
No, I think we'll do
No,
our
not
vote
vote it on
tonight
here,
and then we'll
yeah.
let the parties decide how to publicize.
Gotcha.
Kate,
Okay.
can you do the motion?
I'll make a motion that the Board of Education ratify the agreement with the National Education Association, NEA Danbury, for the period July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2029, as presented.
Second?
The motion's been made by Kate, seconded by Al. We did questions, so if everybody in favor of the motion, could I hear aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion so carried. Okay,
Great, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
need a motion to adjourn.
Many hours invested, thank you.
Motion made by Louisa. Could I hear a second?
Second?
Okay.
Second by
Louisa made the motion.
Louisa made the motion to
I'll
to
second.
adjourn.